All right, we're back. Just got this first side finished and cleaned the brush and cleaned the little saturation roller. This light doesn't really help all that much, does it? But that's it. I'm going to take you over on the table here and show you that I used quite a bit more glass than I had intended to. As you can see, I used almost all of it. I assumed that was going to be enough for both, and it probably was. But I get a little, a little here, a little there, wouldn't hurt, and I don't know. I just sometimes this happens all the time. Actually, I actually go a little overboard. Making side panels and making nose cones a little bit different. You kind of know. You only need 2 layers of everything, and that covers, and you're good to go. Especially with the side panels, it's just big sheets of glass. They're not little torn pieces. So, but that's the first piece done, the first side done. That took probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so. It wasn't too bad. This little rib here kind of botches things a little bit, and this was the short side. This side's a little longer. So, you're going to have to do it from both sides, but I'll try to get you right in here and set you, say, right here, and see if we can't, go to town, so you'll be moving around a little bit. But, we'll see if we can't get you in there for a minute or two and bring some of that to you, the laying up and all that stuff. Over here, let's put you here on the top of this container here. Hey, got different types of resin here, and this is what I just laid up that part with, or that repair with. You see how fluent it is, right? It's relatively thin, so to speak. That's general purpose resin, polyester. This would be the junk you get from, say, the auto parts store or the hardware store. It comes in a Bondo brand or whatever. It's real thick. It's goopy. You try to lay things up like with this, and you end up dabbing with the brush like so. You end up pulling the material back up because the resin is so sticky. So that stuff is really only what I use for making the filler, which is what I'm going to do here in a minute. This is the factory pack filler resin. It's still fluid enough to where you can use it with mat or cloth, and it doesn't really move, but it is soft, Believe it or not, you can actually use that. If you want a little thinner, you can throw some resin in there. If you want to make filler with it, like we're going to do, it'd take a lot less microspheres to get that to a pasty consistency. See, I'm going to show you here. It's still, it's you see, it's pretty thin. Just it's got some filler to it. So let me put you here. We'll show you what we got going with the microspheres. It's what it's called, microspheres. The consistency is even finer than talcum powder. It's really not a powder at all. You see when it sits, this can will last you literally a lifetime. It takes a lot of this stuff to turn the resin thick, but you see how this chunk breaks up, and it weighs nothing. It's literally as light as a feather, and it's, you know what I mean. There's no grain to it, but I'll show you how we mix some of this stuff in with. I'm going to use this thick resin here. Let me see if I can get you to a place where you guys can see what's going on here. Let's put you here, and hopefully that's far enough away. Take a tongue depressor, and you saw how much resin was in here. This is that thick hardware store stuff, right? It's probably 1/2 inch to 5/8 of an inch on the bottom of that. Number 1, 2, we'll go 3 big scoops. And in the thin general purpose resin, this stuff just disappears. I mean, it literally, and you got to keep putting it in and putting it in and putting it in. And so even with this thick stuff, it'll eat it up. It'll take it in. See, it looks like it's thickening up, but it's not. I mean, it's just like an outer coating. But see what we're doing there. And that's still a bit too thin for what you want to do. You want to put it in a corner, and in a tight corner, and you want it to stay there. And like I said, when you press matte down over top of it with even with just the weight of the brush, you know, pressing matte into a corner with this in there, you'll literally push it all out of there, being that consistency there. So let me scoop another little bit out of the old bucket here. We'll put another 2 in. 1, 2. Right? 2 of these right here. And we'll go ahead and, when it first starts to mix in, you think, oh, gee, I went too much, which is not a big deal. You just add a little more resin. You see it thickens it up. Now with the thinner general purpose resin, you have to use twice this much, or you know, probably more than twice as much, 2/3 as much. Sorry, that didn't make any sense, did it? It must be the fumes. I took my mask off. I'm getting a little loopy. But you see what's going on. See, and it'll, you know, the more you mix it up, it'll get nice and thin. And see, it's thickening up. So I would actually go a little more than this. You know, like a peanut butter type. You're going to want to go like this and really have next to none of it come off. So it's like peanut butter. So you can spread it in there, and it'll kind of flow out and settle down a bit. But that's how you mix up the microspheres and the resin to make your own filler. And let me show you if I can get you over here to take another look. You can see the filler there. You see it there? You can see the difference in color up on the black part of the existing glass there. You know, that's it. We filled in that transitional line between the patch and the old stuff. So we actually squeegeed it in with the tongue depressor, so it filled up any gap. And of course, where the tape was in the front, we want to build that wall first with the filler, and then with there's probably 4 layers of that glass over top of that corner. So it'll be good and strong. So I hope you're all enjoying yourself. Be patient. I'll get everything. Got to tear up some more glass. I'll get everything ready to do the other side. I'll put you back on the charger right now to make sure you're good to go. And then we'll throw you in there and show you a little bit of it. Okay? That's it. Stay away from that hardware resin. It's junk.